There was no decisions made in executive session. Okay,
Need a motion to approve the 2022 employee wage agreements.
Have they all signed them?
Nobody signed it.
Oh, nobody signed it, we approve and then they
Right.
sign. I move we approve the
I second it.
2022s.
okay, so first and second to approve the wage agreements.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, motion carried.
We'll sign these after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, now we have Steve with Road and Bridge here.
Go ahead and,
Thank you.
this is just up through December 15th, like expenditures. It's the last time we met.
Don't do that very often, you got a credit.
Well, if there's no questions over that, I'll
No, I have
proceed.
no questions from them.
Yeah. We did get all our estimates in on our request to survey Road F 23 to 25. And I was requesting that we go with the low bid on that, and it's from BEB and Associates. And they came in at not to exceed $2,000. They were the low bid on that. And they would not be able to get to it till probably middle of March when I talked to them last. They were that booked up, so.
And the others are the same?
Oh, I did not check on how soon they'd be able to start.
And that time will be okay with you?
That would be okay. It might actually give us a chance maybe to get some moisture and help with that project. And we just wanted to elevate that road. It was prone to getting filled up with water, and there's landowners that need access into there for the field and their pivots, and that's why we're gonna elevate that stretch. But we wanted to make sure that we knew if we're gonna go through that work, make sure we get the road in the right location.
Before we do that, I just wanted to back up and ask, where is George Seward to have a gravel pit in Tryon County?
George Seward. That I'm not sure, Bill answer that.
What did you say?
George Seward, I've never seen a,
Yeah, he bought Frank Daly's land, north of Rex Daniels.
oh really?
Yeah.
Couldn't be very far north of Rex Daniels.
About a half mile.
So, that's about state line right in there, isn't
It's
it?
just probably a half mile off the state line. Yeah.
I guess I've never seen a check go through for George.
We never have before because we had to change the road in order, Daly wanted to change the road. When we made this road change, we wound up hitting a gravel pit right where we was gonna put the road in. So he was, basically, we had a credit on that system, and now the credit's been burned up, so now we're paying George on the gravel.
Now you know, and I know.
Don't forget.
Well, I didn't know if we needed to make or request a motion to approve.
Yeah.
the-
Need a motion to approve.
For B and B to do BE and B.
I make a motion that we accept the request for B and B for Road F 23 through 25.
Second.
Okay, first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay.
Okay. Next up, I did acquire estimates or quotes on a replacement for our welder generator. We were looking at mainly the Miller 225 model and then the Lincoln, I think it's the Lincoln Ranger 225. And then also just for comparison with another manufacturer listed on there from Hobart.
Well, the Miller's 5,000 and the Lincoln is 5.
Miller list for, 5616, the Lincoln Ranger 225, comparable is at 5297.
Bumper to bumper doesn't have the Hobart?
They do not carry the Hobart.
They do not?
No.
Maybe Miller.
I just checked. And they are available. The Lincoln welder is available
And that's through who?
through bumper to bumper.
What do you feel comfortable with?
Going into this, I preferring the Lincoln Ranger. That's what and I just thought I'd look at some other ones and there's a little bit of a price difference there, but you get mixed reviews
Yeah,
on,
but those leads aren't cheap either.
right, and you've got to add that in too.
I move to go with is it the Lincoln you say you want?
That's what we're hoping to get,
I
yes.
move purchase the Lincoln from bumper to bumper.
I second it.
Okay, it's been first and seconded to purchase the Lincoln from bumper to bumper. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next up, I had a couple of requests for permits to bury a gas line from Black Hills on Road 3. It's gonna run along up Road 3 and cross, they're gonna bore across Road B going north on the west side. And we had received the application form and we were gonna recommend that we sign that.
And they're boring under Road B.
Road
you
B.
said? Okay.
It's coming off a private,
Yes, it's gonna be on the private line on west of the right of way,
Okay,
from the county line going north
okay.
on Road 3, and then they're gonna bore underneath,
Road B.
and that's what they want permission for. So,
To do the boring.
yep.
We need to add a permit number because they need more than they approved that.
okay.
And add one more number to what we have.
Ledyard City. No, that'd be a county line or state line out there.
State line, pretty
Yeah.
close, yeah.
So you need a motion to approve permit number 2103.
Yes.
I move we approve permit number 2103 to Black Hills Energy to bore under the road.
I second that.
And first and second, all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. You need to stop that.
I don't know on these.
And I'll need my signature on there too, Scott.
I don't know, do I need to stamp it, but I need to sign it.
And we just received this request for, this is permit number 2104, it's from Next Tech. And they're requesting to bury a fiber optic cable from US 36 on the south side, going along the east side of Road 32 for 600 feet in our right of way and going into the dairy. And they said they were gonna bury it at 42 inches. They need to put it in the right of way. I asked if they could go on along the private, but they want to be able to come off of it in the future, so they need to have it in the right of way. And we do recommend that we approve it.
Approve it.
And they do have some more of the details there on where exactly.
Is that road elevated?
It's
Is,
elevated and
It's-
paved to the dairy.
So it'd be 42 inches in the bottom of the bar pit?
Yes. And it is gonna be locatable. So,
It's gonna be what?
locatable.
locate, that way, there's a lot of, especially older pipe, like Back Hills Energy, they'll go on private right of way or across our right of way, and then there's no way to locate it, so. One thing I like about this, make sure they can locate it, so.
Okay.
We need to approve permit 2104, I'll make a motion.
I second it.
Okay, been first and second to approve 2104. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried on that.
Then the final item I had today was, we were approached by an individual, Martin Hilt, about seeing if we would like to purchase a pair of used Titan radial loader tires. He had to go with a different set of tires, and these things are in pretty good condition. And he was looking to sell both of them, and we do have a loader, Loader 602 is over at Bird City right now that really could probably use 4 tires, but certainly replacing 2 of them would help. And these are gonna be about half the price of what it would cost to buy new ones. And I don't know if I could show you a picture of the tires that we're
I don't know.
Yeah.
looking at. Well, these are what's on there right now.
Okay.
Just not much tread, there's maybe a 1/4 inch on one of them, if not, maybe not even that, and here's a picture of the pair.
Oh, they look like.
And to buy one of those, priced them yesterday, they were $1,800 for one tire, and we were gonna get $1,800 for the pair of the used ones.
I have no problem with that.
I don't know if that's,
As long as you got it in your
Like
budget,
well
right?
over 50% of the tire left.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we may have to take it from it's our tire fund, I think we're actually running out of that, but I think we've got some other areas we'd be able to
Okay.
take from to
From?
cover that.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know what you
I'm
guys.
not either.
Okay.
Do we need a motion on that?
Yeah.
I make a motion that the county purchase 2 radial tires from Martin Hilt for $1,800 for our loader.
Second.
Okay, it's been first and second, and all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Next, I think Dave had the update on our bridge repair project that's ongoing, and some information on the landfill trust fund.
We'll do the landfill first, so. Oops. You'll see our balance at the end of the month. Last month on that is at 98,414. So I want to visit with you a little bit, and we talked last time when the auditor was here on this financial insurance for the closure and post-closure cost. Just to back up a little bit, in 2004, we thought we'd only have a life of 17 and a half years, and the closure cost at that time and post-closure was estimated at $190,500. So now,
To close what now?
to close the landfill.
Okay.
And then you gotta monitor the wells and everything like that for the next 30 years after you close it. So now we kinda changed the way we've been operating out there. We extended the life and everything like that closer to 75 years. So therefore, your closure cost has increased a lot. So on this next letter,
But that cost wouldn't be until we actually close it?
the post-closure, yes.
You're putting away money now for the closure, correct?
Yes, we should probably know that.
That's what we're doing?
Ooh, I'm sorry, Deacon.
He said you're
Putting money away right now. for
Correct,
the-
we have been.
oh, okay.
Okay, so then you look at this sheet at the top, that little graph there. Now the closure cost is $1,025,701.
Wow.
We've exceeded, what I've told you earlier, we was gonna, that 17 and a half years, we already passed that. And we've been putting money away on this, so then, we'd have a balance, you'll see of that 520,000 with 9 years remaining in this pay-in period. Which I felt was probably enough to cover it when we got to that closure time. So then we talked to the auditor, I finally got some information back from them, and what he's telling me is they have to have the final audit report to obtain the necessary information. They perform the work and prepare the reports necessary at the time we are finalizing the audit and have everything ready at the same time. The approximate cost would be $2,300.
I think you need to clarify, Dave. What Dave is talking about is there are two options in regards to closing
yeah.
a landfill.
Okay.
You've got what we have in place now, which is a determined amount that is paid into a trust. And then there is a financial ability, for lack of a better term, that is based on audits that can be used. And so Dave has been looking into which would be the best course of action for the county, because the cost this year to pay in on the trust is over $50,000, right?
Correct.
And so Dave was wanting to look into the other option that is available for the closure, which is a formula that the auditors can do, but there is a fee associated with it that may save the county some monies, because you may not be paying the $56,000 in, it could be a different amount. But you'd still be meeting the requirements of the state in regards to any sort of closure, right?
Very well explained.
Okay, thank
I
you.
apologize. So the double-edged sword is you can put the money down right now and have it in laid away, to close it, or you're gonna pay every year a minimum, probably $2,300. The way things keep increasing for the next, say for instance, you have the landfill operating 50 years or more, so you're gonna pay that annual fee.
Okay.
So what's your recommendation?
I really thought we would probably, all the counties use this financial test like the auditor does. But you're gonna pay a lot of years, to auditor, and the prices more than likely are gonna keep going up. I don't know, I was all in favor of doing it the auditor way first, but now it kind of makes you wonder if you wouldn't be wiser to keep putting the money away for it, so. and we got the money this year. I know we're running towards the end of the year, and
What if we put away too much?
you always have the money.
It'll be refunded?
Yeah. And here's the other thing, another reason the costs are higher, because we went and dug that, well, we haven't completely, doing the last bit, but we went bigger and deeper and, wider with it. So therefore, at this time, it costs more to actually close it. If they say we had to close right now, because you gotta get dirt and everything back into there.
Right?
But the more longer you operate, the more trash you're putting into it, so therefore you're filling in that void in there.
Right.
So,
And this money's in a CD in our banks, right?
they got
We
it split out.
We haven't spent the money, it's there in a CD,
Correct, in different banks.
In different
They got it
banks.
staggered, so.
So whatever it costs, if it costs less, we'll get the money back.
Yes, yes. It's our money, they're just making sure there's a trust
Making
for it.
sure there's money there when we
Yep.
do
Set
close.
aside, yeah.
And the reason the state did that, there was some landfills that didn't have enough laid away, and then they had to close it, and then it was KDHE's responsibility, so then they limited that 10 years. As far as financial, that's the reason they're restricting it on that one form there. Kind of bails them out, but still a wise decision for KDHE.
So we're putting in how much a year?
This year, the trust payment would be $56,119.74 on that sheet that you have there, so.
As opposed to
As opposed,
2,300
as opposed to 2,300
for,
forever, at minimum,
right.
Well, that's just for the auditor
just for the auditor, yes.
to do the work they have to show that you're financially stable or financially able to take care of this through the audits, because the auditor has to sign off on a document that says, yes, they've got the financial assurance to make this payment or cover this debt if it ever should be incurred. It's really complicated, but other counties do it.
They do it, and I think they didn't want to come up with the money up front, and they think, well, the county is always going to have land taxes. If we have to close it, we'll pay for it. We'll just have to increase the taxes at that time. I think that's the reason they went that route. So, I mean, we're money ahead on the game right now, no doubt, so.
And does this have to be done by the end of the year?
I'm sorry?
Doesn't this have to be done by the end of the year?
I thought so, but she said something, and I thought I forwarded this. It said, Brian couldn't complete it, until the audit was done in the midsummer. So, but she said something to the fact what they're doing now would actually be 2020s. I don't know if you had that email or not, but anyway. And something
You have to
about,
make the payment before they can do the renewal.
that's probably correct, or the financial test, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking at this point in time, maybe we're wiser paying that 56,000 at the end of the year and be done with. We can always change it at any time.
If you pay the 2,300 each year, there's still gonna be closing costs when you close.
Right.
Definitely,
Well,
yeah,
that's
And
still.
we-
And then we're gonna increase your taxes to do it.
Right.
yeah,
This way, yeah.
Better to
yours,
plan for it than
mine.
not,
yeah.
so.
I really thought the auditors would do this, test and everything like that, and then there'd just be a smaller fee after that, but this sounds like it's gonna be an annual fee, so.
So if you put 56, wait a minute. You're saying now it's gonna be 1,025,000 when we get out to the end,
Yeah, that's what they're estimating, yes, right at this time.
which would be how many more years?
Well, see, in the balance right now, you'll see that next line down, we got 520 in it.
So it'd be
Right,
about,
right.
give or take,
With 9 years
There's
remaining,
9 years remaining.
yeah. To keep paying in if we stay with this program.
But we're gonna have to keep paying in after we go over that 9 years?
No,
No,
You'll be all paid up,
we'll be paid up to go to the end of the life of the landfill.
plus 30
Unless-
years.
Unless there are changes made to the landfill.
Unless there's a formula or something like that happens, yes.
Well, I'd say you're right, let's pay the 56, and
Since we have the money,
Right.
yeah,
it's budgeted.
yep, that's correct. So, anyway, it's kind of interesting to know the other side and what other counties are doing and things like that, but,
Exactly.
okay.
So we wouldn't be making any changes then, right?
Not this time, correct? Everything would be the same what we've been doing. But we still have the option to do it differently if we ever want to, so. All right, we're done with that.
So we're gonna go ahead and pay the 56.
Yes, we'll pay that at the end of the year then, so, okay. I'm calling this Barnhart Bridge, but it's FAS 50. This is where the flood hit last year, and we're confident all this flood water has come in and it's undermined these piling. The engineers are gonna be out tomorrow. They're really scheduled for today, but with wind, they didn't wanna come out here, so they'll be out here tomorrow for sure and know what we need to do. A good suspicion is this is a 120-foot bridge. It's precast sections. They're 3 8-foot sections per span. It's a 3-span bridge. Gerald and I are thinking they'll probably lift out all these sections, knock out the 2 piers, and then drive. We currently only have 4 piling per pier. They'll probably knock them all out and go with 5, maybe even 6 of piling, drive new piling in them rows. Still utilize your same abutments and everything like that. And then they'll probably have a steel cap on it, would be my guess, when they go back together with it. That's the top piece of above the piling. And then before they swing these back on, these precast sections, I would like to have them put in these 5 steel beams. There are cambered beams that we'd have to order. We did 2 of them down there on this, I'm calling it the Moore Bridge, down there on Road D. So, it's easy to do while they got it off, is put in 5 of these steel beams and then turn around, put these precast sections back on top. So you're basically utilizing the precast sections as a deck then. And you got a perfectly legal load bridge. That's what I think's gonna happen. So the next thing was in the finances. I think they'll probably wind up having to go in and bid everything, just similar like we did that other. But I think it's gonna be a shorter time span. And Gerald says, and I hope he's correct on this, he thinks, we committed to this 90-10 money on the Trout Hill Bridge. And we already have that $50,000 credit where we took out this other bridge, on Road T. We could utilize that money, since it's emergency funds, and go towards that project and just delay Trout Hills. And I would be all in favor of that, so. If he can get that done, he says KLBP, Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program, has the capability of doing that, so.
So, are we damaging the bridge right now by crossing it with heavy loads?
There's no restriction. We have the original weight restriction, like it had.
Right.
But no other
But
changes
it's
so
gotta be
far.
given some when we're crossing it, aren't they, with the load?
There's a lot more cracking, it looks like, that's happening.
Yeah.
We think that one piling is leaning a little bit, so.
But
And,
we don't wanna damage the decking.
true, right.
How long once they start is it gonna take?
They drove all the piling on that Hills Canyon, which was a little shorter piling, but they drove all of them in one day.
Okay.
So I'm comfortable that they would be able to drive, in 2 days, they ought to be able to drive the new ones, the 2 piers.
Okay, so we're not
It's
gonna
more
be down that
time
long.
consuming is actually, you gotta put your cables on
Right.
and swing out all these slabs. to get access to the old pier and then knock them out. Whether they leave them old piling in there or they pull it out, I don't know about that. So, but we'll still go by whatever the engineers say on that. So I think it could capably be done in 2 weeks, but I may be dreaming.
Well, I hope so. We'll send them back around there with all their wheat next year.
And it just really inconveniences the, you know, the
Yeah.
farmers to the north, because everything else, you know, it's just a little jog. It's not all that bad, but yeah, it's the worst of it for them. So, and we'd probably have another shoe fly on this deal, so,
How would you?
yeah. So,
You say something about, Steve, that you've been pumping water.
The engineers were hoping we can get the water down out of there so they could look down,
Look
and see
down
what
in
happened
there.
to the piers, but it's been it's either the water table, which is probably what it is, so as you're pumping it out, when you shut it down for the night or the weekend, it's coming back up, so we're gaining a little bit, but then,
Yeah. This time of year, water tables are coming up anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
and it happened to be, you know, there was that big ridge dirt that was to the side. We pushed a lot of that in there, kind of closed that capacity. But Cale had printed this off. You guys might find this interesting. Like here's the river road and here's our bridge. Surprisingly, you'll see this 3140, for 1,300 feet, this is all the same level.
We had talked about even trying to trench and get the water out, but first of all, when you dig, you're gonna have water fill up your trench, and then we don't have the elevation to get it out of there either. You have to go a long ways. And it still may not take.
Are there any irrigation wells near that you could, if you were running those, you wouldn't fill in as fast?
Yeah, this
If
is
you
probably more.
needed time, I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think there's any very close.
Okay.
I mean, that's running anything, it'd be a mile or south or something like that. And then once they got dirt closer to it, I'd actually took the survey stick and I could push it 10 feet deep below the water, right by the piling, so I'm positive it's undermined all that shale and everything out of that.
I didn't know it was court, sorry guys.
Oh, we canceled court because of weather,
Okay.
so we're good.
Oh, I
Sorry.
know
No, my bad.
there's a heck of a drift of shale out there to the, well, I'd call it kind of the.
Southeast?
Southeast of that bridge.
After the flood, you've
After
seen
the
that.
flood, yeah, there's a heck of a drift of it.
Yeah.
And I bet it come out from under that bridge right in there
I think
somewhere.
so. Well, and see, in the past, the county evidently built up a lot of it to the northeast of the bridge. They built the road up, and therefore you had that a full wall of water until that got to where it break over. It just sit there boiling, you know, under that bridge. So anyway, we'll learn some more tomorrow. Hopefully, we don't have to close it very fast, but it could happen. We might have to close and just restrict it to vehicle traffic. I mean, you know, light
Yeah,
traffic.
Like,
So.
Yeah, we're gonna start damaging the decking we wanted.
But, well, safety is the main thing that we're all concerned about, so, yeah. That's all I got.
Well, no, it's not. I'd ask for 5 minutes of executive session for advice of counsel.
Okay.
I make a motion, we have 5 minutes executive session for advice of counsel.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, okay.
You guys want?
Yeah.
Depends on what you're dealing with.